What's going on? Look at my hair. My hair looks so bad. I had a hat on earlier, of course. This hat right here. But I took it off. I was just letting the hair blow in the wind. Tanya and I went shopping at the Meijer, and then we were driving around. I had the windows open because it's so nice out tonight, 71 degrees. And I was like, just let the hair blow in the wind. So anyway, I want to show you what I got at Meijer. I am so excited, you guys. Okay, so you know that I am obsessed, right, with this Mrs. Meyer's hair, or Mrs. Meyer's products. You guys know I'm obsessed with these, right? This is the all-purpose cleaner. And then I bought 2 things of hand soap, okay? The hand soap is $3.99. And I think this was $4.99. Between like $3.99 and $5.49 or something like that. I can't remember. But anyway, receipts in my wallet. But are you ready? Do you want to know why this is special and why, since I just bought some, I bought some more? Look at my hairdo right there. Because the flavor on this is apple cider. Oh my God, I'm so excited, okay? And not only do they have apple cider, which means that when I clean my kitchen and wash my hands, that it will smell like apple cider. But they also have pumpkin scent, and they also have mum, like mums, so that those are their fall scents. I was so blown away. I was like, oh my God, Tanya, I have to have this. So she was like, that is so cool. And then we smelled the pumpkin, and I didn't. It's really, okay, so here's the interesting thing about her brands, Mrs. Meyer's. I don't know if she's like really still a person. I think she's not anymore. I think it's a couple that owns the company now. But like often the scents, like the lavender doesn't smell like a conventional lavender. It smells like it smells like a garden lavender, or what you would smell out in a field. Like the peony is the same way. Like it doesn't smell like what I've smelled other things that are peony. It smells like an actual from the garden peony, you know, that you would have like in your walkway or something. And so the smells are very, very like raw ingredient smelling. The pumpkin almost kind of smells like pumpkin that you put in pumpkin pie. It doesn't smell like pumpkin candles, or, do you know what I mean? It smells like pumpkin that you would scoop out of a pumpkin and smell, and it was a little bit too much for me. The mums just smelled very, I would say, very, it was flowery, but kind of like a fall flower. I mean, a mum. That makes sense. So when I was growing up, my mom would she always had huge yellow mums, 2 pots of them sitting in front of our door. We had this huge like red brick, what do you call it? Like front porch thing. You'd like walk up this front walk that was brick, and then it had this huge area that was for like wrought iron furniture and stuff, and it was brick. And then there were like Korean boxwoods on either side that were flat, and they were like, you know, trimmed across, like very flat. It looked like an English like Cotswold kind of thing. And then we had this brick walkway going up, and my mom would always get these 2 huge things of mums, and yellow mums. And people would always say, how do you get your mums to do so well? Like they just do so well. They just continue, these big pots of mums will just grow and grow and grow. And she had heard it somewhere, she learned it, that you get beer and you keep it warm, and then you water the mums like once a week with 1 warm beer. Like 1 warm beer can, you put it into the mums like once a week, and that's supposed to help them. I don't know if it's like the yeast in the beer that helps it or what it is, but she always did that. So I think I'll get some mums this year. I was going to do it last year and I never did. I was going to get all kinds of flowers for our back patio this year and I didn't do it. And you know, I haven't really been sitting out there a whole lot. Tanya and I were just talking about that. It's like summer's almost over, and it's like I feel like there were so many things I wanted to do that I haven't done. I feel like it's kind of just like flown by, you know? I'm really, really excited about going to Vegas this week. I can't wait. Alex and I have been working so much lately that I feel like we really need to get away and just enjoy some time together away. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah, Alex and I were talking about that tonight. So today, what did we do? We got up, and we had thought about going to the fair, but I had forgotten that I had to do my live stream, and so we were going to go to the live stream, or we were going to go to the fair after I did my live stream. But I never heard from Melissa, and when I got up, I said, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to go to the fair, or do you want to go out to brunch? And he said, well, I'll go to the fair if you want to go to the fair, because I know you're the one that likes it. He's like, I don't really care. He goes, I prefer to just go out to brunch. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. I can just probably get a lot more done and then relax. But because there was so much popping in the drama community today, I just kind of was going all day long. So, we went out to brunch. We got there at like 2 o'clock. We left at 3. I came home. I filmed a drama video, and started rendering it and uploading it. And then I did the live stream for the book club from like 4 to 5. That was really, really fun. We had so much fun doing that. And then we're going to make some changes to the book club so that we can read scary books during October, and so that we can read holiday books during the holiday season. So Mel, who is my book club assistant, she and I was supposed to call her tonight, but I just ended up taking a nap later. I was so exhausted. And then after that, I filmed the rest of my videos for today. And then as soon as I got everything put away, Laura Lee made an apology video, so I got back on camera and responded to that. And then I hung out and kind of was just talking to Alex. He's rewatching all of the Game of Thrones from like episode 1 all the way through all the seasons. He's like, you should watch it with me. I'm like, there is no way that I'm gonna watch. He goes, there's only 10 episodes of the series. He watched almost the entire first season today. Like just back to back to back to back while I was doing all my stuff. He was like, why don't you, I go, because there's so many shows I want to watch, and Game of Thrones really isn't one of them that I want to watch that bad. So he was like, okay. We're excited about American Horror Story coming back. That's kind of like our show. Like, we watch together that, and like RuPaul's Drag Race, and Pose, but I don't think Pose will probably come back until, like January or February would be my guess. When did it come out? It came out, I feel like, late, like March, April, I don't even know. So we'll see. Fun getting excited about watching TV shows together. And do you guys do that, like with your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever, friends even? Do you get excited about watching shows together? Alex and I always like pick out some shows to watch together. It's kind of our bonding thing. And we've been figuring out what movies we're gonna watch on the plane on the way out there, and I'm excited about that. Yeah, so it was a good day. It was like, I was busy as hell today making videos. But I don't mind, like, you know, like, that's the thing, is I enjoy it so much. The problem is all of a sudden I look at the clock, and it's, because I really don't ever look at the clock once when I'm, like, filming videos, and I mean, I just don't, you know? And then all of a sudden I look, and it's like 8:45, and I'm like, where did the day go? And then it was, 9 o'clock, no, it was, what time did I get over to Tanya's? Okay, so it was like 10 till 10, and Alex was going to watch one more episode of, what do you call it? Whatever I just talked about, Game of Thrones. He said, I'm going to watch one more episode of Game of Thrones, I'm going to go to bed. He's a really long day tomorrow, he has to work like 12 hours. And I said, okay. I said, I'm going to lay down for like an hour and 15 minutes, and then I'm going to get up and go vlog. I was going to vlog early tonight, because I wanted to, like, listen to a lot of Harry Potter. I just started the Chamber of Secrets last night. My God! Why am I so obsessed with these books? Like, why did it take me so long to get obsessed with these books? So, I started listening to the Chamber of Secrets. I had already read 100 pages of it, so I'm not past the part yet of the 100 pages that I read, where, like, Harry goes to the Weasleys and stays and all that stuff. Like, I read all of that. I'm not, like, back to Hogwarts or any of that kind of stuff yet. So, which I'm assuming they go back to Hogwarts and Chamber of Secrets. I don't know. Don't tell me. I don't know. But I'm going to listen to it tonight when I get off here. So anyway, I told Alex, I go, watch. I go, as soon as I go and I set my alarm and I lay down, I said, Tanya's going to text me and be like, fountain with a question mark. Because every time I lay my head down, I'm like so relaxed. And PB came up there with me tonight. PB always stays with, if Alex is home, because, you know, it's like me at home all the time. So when Alex is home, PB is like with Alex. And I ran upstairs to like take a nap for, you know, like an hour and 15 minutes. And I was like laying there, setting my alarm, and I kept on hearing this like, you know, this little on the floor. And I looked over and it was PB and he was trying to get on the bed. And so I went and picked him up and he took a nap with me while I was taking a nap. And then like 20 minutes later, oh no, and then I was getting ready to lay down, and as soon as I had set my alarms, Tanya texted me and she put, Meyer, question mark. So, I said, hey Alex, and he goes, what? And I go, Tanya just texted me, she wants to know if I want to go to Meyer. He was like, are you gonna go? I said, I'm gonna lay down for an hour, I'm tired. Because he was like, just tell her you don't want to go. I go, but I do want to go, but I want to lay down, that's the thing. Because I always, like, I don't have enough hours in the day, right? Like, there's just not enough hours in the day. I'm like down to, I don't sleep a whole lot anymore. And so anyway, Alex, he was watching something on TV, but it was really, I could hear that he was watching like videos on his phone, like Instagram videos and stuff like that. And there's this guy, I can't remember what his name is, something Tropico. He's like Colombian or Venezuelan, but like Alex, he's like, he does all of his videos like on like filters and stuff like that, and Alex just laughs his ass off watching him. He's like, he speaks Spanish, so I of course don't understand. I mean, Alex is just so funny, and I'm always like, tell me I like a funny joke, and Alex is like, you wouldn't understand, it wouldn't translate. I'm like, what? He's like, it wouldn't translate, you wouldn't understand. I'm like, whatever. So he came upstairs after like, I was like laying down, I had just fallen asleep, and the hall lights came on, and it woke me up, and PP's little ears were sticking up, you know, at the end of the bed. And I said, are you done watching TV? Because I noticed that he had turned all the lights. You know, our condo's a loft, so as soon as he turns the lights off, I can see it. And he said, yeah, he was like, I'm going to go to bed. I'm really, really tired. And I said, okay. And he usually comes to bed and sits on his phone for like a good half an hour and 40 minutes, but he didn't. He set his alarms and he was out. Like, I mean, out like that. And so I laid there for like 20 minutes and I couldn't fall back asleep, and I just got up and I called Tanya and I said, do you still want to go to Meyer? And she said, yeah. So I came and got her, and then we went to Meyer, and she had a list and she got all kinds of stuff. She's going out of town too, so they rented a house where they're going, and so they're going to Tennessee, and she is like making trail mix and all kinds of stuff. So she was getting stuff to make trail mix. She got stuff for the kennel. We looked at all the books. We smelled some of the candles. Well, really, we smelled not the candles, but we sprayed all of the new smells by Yankee Candle, the room sprays, and they all stank. Oh, by the way, the other day, do you guys remember I bought the two things, the round things that were Yankee Candle, and they were like apple spice, and I was really excited about them. Well, I put them in the wax melts the other day. They literally were like going the whole day, and I didn't even smell them. Like, not once. I couldn't smell them at all in the house. So do not buy the Yankee Candle waxes. They're a waste of money. That's what I have to say about that. So anyway, yeah. The candles, okay. So I'm so excited about the candles. We've been working, well, I haven't been working on, she's been, but she sent me tonight the Halloween candle, which I cannot wait to show to you guys. Well, she didn't send it to me, but she like messaged me and she was like, this is what the cover of it looks like. I was like, oh my God, this is such perfection. I cannot wait. So that candle should probably be coming out soon. It has me on the cover of it, and then she has a then she has a candle also that is gonna smell like my cologne. like kind of a mixture of my cologne and some woodsy smells, but kind of like what I smell like. So she gave me 3 different options of what, I mean, it's her candle company. I don't really have anything to do with it. But she gave me like 3 different options of what the label could look like and what the title of the camera is. Camera, why do I keep on saying that? Candle. So, it's kind of weird, like, you know, when you think about this whole, like, YouTube thing. I mean, I'm coming up on my 2-year anniversary on my Peter Monn channel. I had done videos on it before, but I mean where I was, like, really posting videos daily. That's September 1st. And, before, it was just playing around. It was stupid. They're stupid videos. And, it's like surreal to me that like all of just like the crazy stuff that has happened as a result, like having a book club, you know, where people actually want to read a book that I choose, that's a result of that. Or all the people that I've met, you know, that are YouTubers and not YouTubers, like all of you guys out there's so many of you guys out there that like I've talked to, you know, and then like the fact that somebody is making a candle with my name on it, like that is so cool. Like that is so cool, you guys, you know? And it's like those kinds of things that I just kind of sit there and I'm like, this is really a blessing. Like, you know, all of this is such a blessing to me. I just love it. I love everything about it. And, I've gotten a couple, it's interesting because I got a couple messages recently. I kind of said something about it in a video. Maybe that's why. Maybe it triggered somebody thinking that to, you know, respond to me. But they said, you seem like, the first email was like, you seem so driven. Like, how do you stay so focused and get so much stuff done? You know, the thing is, okay, that everything that I'm doing in my life right now is something that I love. There's not really anything that I'm doing in my life that I don't enjoy, you know? And that alone is such a blessing. I tried to adjust it and I messed it up. Anyway, I was just talking about how I feel so blessed to, you know, every day get up and do things that I love to do, you know? I just feel blessed to do that. And, I think it's interesting, you know, I started talking about gratitude in January, and I'm not keeping a gratitude journal right now. I said I was going to start it up again, but I haven't, and, but I'm so, like, I don't know, like, if maybe, like, doing the gratitude journal, like, really made me consciously start always thinking about gratitude, because I feel like I think about it all the time, you know? I feel like in every action that I do, like, I mean, not every minute action, but like in things that I'm doing throughout the day, honestly, like even going to Starbucks, I feel like, I think to myself, you know, I feel so grateful that I can do this, you know, that I can go through Starbucks. And, you know, I remember at a time in my life that I was really, really struggling financially, and my sponsor said to me, I mean, he really put me in my place, and it was true, and I said, it was like outside of a meeting one night, and I said, you know, I just don't know what to do, like, I'm slowly trying to pay off this debt, but, and he said, well, you could maybe start with that Starbucks. And I said, what do you mean? And he goes, every time I see you at a meeting, you've got a Starbucks in your hand. And he goes, what is it about the Starbucks that you like? Is it the cup? Is it the going in there? What? I go, I don't know. I just feel like it's my little treat to myself that I give myself every day. And he goes, well, that little treat's about a $4 treat that you can make coffee at home and carry it, you know, in a recyclable mug that, you know, maybe that way you wouldn't have to worry so much about that $4. That would be, you know, $28 a week that you could save, and, you know, would be, you know, what if $4 times 30 is what, $120 a month that you're saving. That would probably, you know, if you bought a container of coffee twice a month, would probably be $8. So you'd probably be saving $110 a month. That's a lot of money. That's $1,000 a year, Peter. $1,200 a year. And I was like, oh wow, you know. And I busted my ass to get out of debt. And I did stop doing things like that. And I really started, you know, consciously thinking about the difference between my wants and my needs. So the fact that today I'm able to do that, and you know, it's interesting because I don't very often like spend money on stuff. And I have a lot of friends of mine that, you know, they, like, the only thing that Alex and I really spend money on, he buys clothes, but the only thing, and I don't even do that. If I buy clothes, I mean, honest to God, and part of it is because not a lot fits, but if I buy clothes, I usually go to, like, Target. I mean, honest to God, and I mean, I'm okay with their clothes. You know, I buy jeans at Nordstrom because I like Joe's jeans, but I haven't needed a new pair of jeans. I bought shoes. I bought a couple pairs of shoes in the last 6 months. But like this pair of Birkenstocks, these plastic Birkenstocks that I bought for $40 have been like the best buy that I've made this year, you know? I bought a couple things here and there, but you know, I'm not a big shopper like people, but I used to be. I used to buy a lot, and I decided, you know, I decided that I wanted to take a look at what my wants and my needs are, and this trip going to Vegas is like, you know, the last 2 trips were nice, but we really splurged on this trip to Vegas, and because it's our anniversary and we wanted to, you know, do it the way that we wanted to do it, and it's like the first thing, and I really had a hard time when Alex and I were like, well, let's do this, we want to get the same kind of room that we got when we got married, which is like a wraparound suite and stuff, and, you know, I was like, this is a lot of money, and, you know, and he was like, babe, you don't ever spend money on stuff. Like, you just don't. Like, you are constantly putting money into savings, and, you know, he's like, I'm very proud of you, you know, we are very smart with money, we're very, you know, we really watch how we spend our money, unlike our friends sometimes, because we have some friends that overspend, and he was like, you know, we can do this, we can afford it, let's do it, and I was like, you're right, let's do it, let's enjoy it, and I think that, like, having gone through tough times like that makes me so grateful, you know, and I think also, I don't know, just like being able to sit down in the afternoon and read a book on my front porch and just be like, oh my God, I feel so grateful that I, you know, have an hour that I can read, you know, or I've gotten so many comments from people recently being like, I just found your channel, or I'm new to your channel, or whatever, on all of my channels. And, you know, like, that's such a cool thing to me that, like, people want to watch these videos. I was talking to a friend of mine because I started putting up these stupid, silly music videos on my Instagram. I know they're silly. I have fun with them. That's why I do them, you know? Because I know they're silly, but I don't care. I'm having fun with them. And it's something different for me. I'm not going to start a channel and do something like that. I just want to put some on there. I may continue it. I may not, you know? And, so I was talking to my friend, and I was like, do you think it's stupid? And he was like, no, I think they're funny. I don't really understand it. Like, are you playing a character? I go, I'm just having fun. Like, it's just me having fun. Like, this is literally what I do in my living room, like, throughout the... It, honest to God, is. You know, I sit there and I play music and I drag it out. There's this scene from the movie Longtime Companion. It's so funny. And there's this character, and his name is Fuzzy. I had such a crush on him when I first saw it. I think I saw the movie when I was like 20 for the first time or something. And I had such a crush on this guy in the movie. And it's about the AIDS crisis. And his boyfriend comes in the door, and he's like dragging it out to like dream girls. And he's like, I'm your dream girl. And like he turns around and his boyfriend is looking at him, and he like stops immediately and turns the radio off. But you know, like, I allow myself today to have fun. I allow myself to enjoy my life. And at the same time, like, I sit there and I go, wow, like, I feel really grateful for my life that I've been handed, you know? Like, I have an amazing life, and I don't want to forget that. And I try really hard not to, you know? And the more that because like every night before I go to bed, you know, I say my prayers and I do some meditations, and then I go through my head as I'm laying there before I go to sleep. Usually Boo Radley is like right next to me, and I just kind of like pet Boo Radley, and as I'm like petting him going to sleep, I like think through my head like all the things that happened throughout the day that I'm really grateful for. And it's really hard when you do that to end your day when you're thinking of all the things you're grateful for and not even see in the negative things that there's some gratitude, if that makes sense. You know, it's like, well, I'm really tired today, but I'm tired because I got to make videos that people want to watch. You know, I mean, it's just, it's searching for gratitude in everything that I do, you know? And it's really changed my attitude on, I mean, it really has made me look at life in a different way. And I think it all started with that gratitude journal that I started in January. I really do. I think that it programmed my mind to think, you know, gratitude focused. And I don't know, something changed in me, you know? I see the world in a completely different way than I used to. It's like in Thelma and Louise when she's like, I don't know about you, but I can't go back. Something's changed in me, you know? It's like, so much that was right in front of my face before I take for granted, that I took for granted, you know? I think. Every little thing, you know, I think that when I look at, I think to myself, you know, even just like going to brunch with my husband today, something that we do, you know, we were walking out of there and everybody's like, see you guys next week, see you guys next week, which they won't because we won't be here. But, you know, it's like nice to go someplace that like people are friendly, you know? It's nice people are friendly, period, in the world. And, I don't know. My dad is somebody that, now, you know, being his son, having grown up with it, when my dad was having a shitty day and he came home at the end of the day, I knew it because he would say, oh man, that was a shitty day. My dad's not somebody that has ever really been ruled by anger or anything. Like, he's very calm in every situation. But you could meet him anywhere throughout his day. He might be having the worst day of his entire life and you wouldn't know it. And it's not fake. He just doesn't believe in bringing your problems to somebody else necessarily, like complaining, if it's something that you can handle. And I remember like 5 or 6 years ago, I was really had some shitty day. I can't remember what it was. I was really pissed about something. And I called him and we were talking. And like, as soon as I like started talking to him, I started bitching and moaning about it. And he didn't say anything on the phone. And I just kind of went off and I was like, and this and that and blah, 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 whatever. And I was really pissed about whatever it was. But I wasn't calling him for advice. I wasn't calling him, you know, I wanted to call somebody. And so I called my dad. And I got done and he goes, so I'm confused. Like, were you calling just to tell me that? Or were you calling because you wanted some suggestions on how to handle the situation? I go, no, I know how to handle the situation. I think I just needed to vent. Okay. So like, I've talked to you about, like on here about how like, you know, a lot of people in my life, you know, are like good at listening to me, right? And I don't do this as much anymore, but back in the day, like if I just could get it out, I was fine. And my dad said to me, he goes, so you just wanted to call me up, and he goes, and it was like a Sunday or something, he goes, you just wanted to call me up, and like, you had no idea if I was having a great day, which I am, and you wanted to try to ruin my day complaining about yours? He goes, I'm confused. And I was like, no, I just wanted to tell somebody what I'm going through. And he goes, oh, okay. He goes, well, thank you for telling me. I'm sorry that you're having a shit day. I hope that you turn it around. He goes, is there anything else? And I was just like, and I talked to him like a couple weeks after that, you know, and we had talked in between, but I talked to him a couple weeks after that about that, and he goes, I just don't do that to you, Peter. I don't call you up and just go, let me tell you how fucked up my day is, and let me get really, like, because I got real worked up about it, right? He goes, I don't try to get you real worked up when shit goes wrong in my life. I handle it the best I can. If you ask me, how's your day? I'll say, well, Pete, you know, my day's not going the way that I planned, but hey, I'm here another day. He goes, it's just, what good does it do to constantly complain about stuff, you know? I was like, well, there's truth in that. So, you know, I try today to look at things differently like that, and it's not easy. I used to complain a lot, you know. I used to be this very highly negative complaining person, and my ex was a very highly complaining negative person. And I almost kind of think, to some degree, I don't know who it started with, me or him, but I think that, like, we fed off of each other with it, because it would be like we never disagreed. Does that make sense? Like, with each other, like Alex and I, like, I can be like, oh, you know, Judy Smith, this, blah, 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 and he'll go, like, or I'll be like, well, we were supposed to do something with Judy Smith, but Judy Smith, you know, she could care less about doing anything with us. And Alex will say, well, did you tell Judy Smith that you wanted to do something with us? No, but she should know. And he'll be like, no, she's not a mind reader. If you want to do it, you should tell her, you know? And vice versa. Like, if Alex is complaining about something and I'm like, dude, like, if this is the worst thing that happened in your day today, you know, like, you had a pretty good day. And he'll be like, you're right, you know? And Alex and I challenge each other, which I think that's important. But with my ex, you know, I can be like, I could have been like, you know, like, fucking Judy Smith and blah, 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 whatever. And he'd be like, yeah, fuck her, dude. You know what I mean? Like, we riled each other up. And I don't think it was healthy. I really don't. And, you know, I'm a believer that negativity creates negativity and positivity creates positivity. And with Alex and I, we kind of just shut it down, you know, like with the other person. It's like, if you want me to listen to you, I'll listen to you. And, we both allow the other person to vent. You guys, this camera, every camera I have problems with because it starts sliding back and I try to move it. Okay, but yesterday Alex was venting about some stuff and I just was like listening to him, you know, and I looked at him and I kind of like smirked at the end. He was like, what? And I go, I mean, do you want me to tell you what I think about it? He's like, I just really needed to get it out. And I said, okay. He goes, I really do feel better though, thanks. I was like, you're welcome, you know? And it was like, I just, you know, there were some days I'm just like, hey, get it out, you know? But we challenge each other, and it's like often we'll like just nip it in the bud if it's something that, you know. And I think it's also about being considerate about the other person, you know? Like, if Alex is having a really, really bad day and he just needs to vent, you know, I think he has the right to do that. Now, there's a difference, I think, between venting and just being like, man, I had a really bad day and I was rushing and things didn't go the way that I wanted them to. And there's that. And then there's like the constant complaint that every day it's the same complaint over and over and over again. My husband's not willing to listen to that, and neither am I. It's like, okay, you've brought this up 3 times. Are you going to do something about it? If you're not going to do something about it, then, like, what are we doing? Like, you just want to complain for complaints, you know, sake, and it's not healthy. Well, with my ex and I mean, we would complain about the same shit over and over and over and over again. And I think it kind of created this language of negativity, you know, that we just saw the whole world that way, and I don't think it was healthy. I don't think that was healthy at all. It didn't have anything to do with, you know, our ending, but I just don't think it was healthy. I don't think, like, I'm so chameleon-ish that, like, if I'm around people that are very, very positive and inspired and, you know, motivated, like, I'm very inspired and motivated. But if I'm around people that are very, very negative, I can fall to that a little bit. Although it's interesting because, you know, last night we went to dinner And everybody there was like in such a great mood, and they were all talking about really fun stuff and like all the great things. They were catching up, right? So they were talking about like all the great things that are going on in their lives and telling kind of some funny stories from the past. It was like a really nice dinner. But I've been at dinners like that before where people are, like one person is like really sarcastic and kind of bitter, or they're nasty to the waitress, you know? And then it kind of sets the mood for the whole dinner, and then everybody's kind of like sarcastic and nasty. And I have found recently when like that's the case, when I'm like with other people, like whether it's like a coffee during the day or going out to dinner and stuff like that, you know, that like I've really found myself in my head thinking about how I want to respond. Like, I don't think I want to be part of this. You know what I mean? Like I've really thought it through, and in a way that I didn't used to. I didn't used to think that stuff through. I just, my mouth, you know, I had wings on my tongue, so to speak, you know, that I just, bleh. And, I have found myself watching what I say with people more, because I think we have to be careful sometimes of how, maybe careful is not the right word. You know, I think that I don't always want to perpetuate conversations that I think don't need to be had, or negative and whatever, you know. I don't know. It's hard to have friends sometimes, you know, like I love having friends, but like, I don't mean friends, not friends, like that you talk to every day and stuff like that, but like acquaintances that you go out with, you know, once a month, or see them, you know, I don't know, a couple times a year or something. It's like hard, because you're just like, you don't really know them like on that level, do you know what I mean? And it's like, or they've changed since the last time that you've seen them. But do you have those friends that are just like always bitter whenever you see them? And it's like, why am I here? Like, God, you're so exhausting. I have a couple friends like that like, I don't really, if you hear about them in my vlog, they're not those people, because I don't really spend time with them. They're people that are just so exhausting to me. It's like, you know, and I hope that in my life I wasn't like that, but I'm sure I was. I'm sure there have been times that I was exhausting to people, and I just don't want to be that, you know, like, Tanya was telling me tonight that one of her family members said to her, you know, like, she said, you know what I'm jealous of? And Tanya said, what? She said, I'm jealous of you and Peter's friendship. And Tanya said, she goes, I thought it was kind of funny how I responded. She said, you know, I never kind of like respond. And this is like on the heels of me making this video saying that we need to thank our friends and stuff. And we were having that conversation. I said, I just want to thank you for being such a great friend. I don't think I say that ever to you, you know. And she's like, well, I don't say it to you either. Thank you, you know. She was like, it means a lot to me. And so anyway, you know, this family member said that I'm jealous of you and Peter's friendship. And she said, you know what, we deserve it. We deserve to have the friendship that we have, because we work very hard at our friendship, and we respect each other, and we're loyal to each other. And that's true, you know, like, I look at this friendship that I have with Tanya, and it's not just this thing that just poof, just like happened, you know, like, it's something that was created over 20 plus years together, you know, that of being considerate of each other. And, you know, when Tanya gets in the car, allowing her to have, you know, her moment to talk about whatever's going on. And she'll get in the car and she'll say, okay, like, I gotta say some things because I've like had a day from hell. And so then I just let her talk, and I just drive and listen, and, you know, that's what we do. And or I'll start going off and saying something, or we'll laugh and tell some stories. Like, you know, we've really worked hard on our relationship through the years, I think, without even realizing we were working hard on our relationship, if that makes sense, you know? Like, I think that we were cultivating a friendship over time, and I think that, you know, there are a lot of considerations that I've made through the years, I think, that have really bonded us. But you know, there's a lot of things that I have done to, like, consciously, and I'm sure she has too, you know? Like, for years and years and years and years and years, you know, Tanya would sponsor all these people, and there were always people over at her house, and, you know, that are sober people. And I never have just, 22 years we've been friends, I've never just stopped by Tanya's house, ever. Like, if I'm coming, I always call her or text her and be like, hey, are you around? Can I stop by? Oh, yeah, sure. You know, let me know when you're here, whatever. Or we're around back, or, you know, whatever. I've never just walked in the house or knocked on the door and shown up, because I don't know what her and Eric are doing. You know, they might be being intimate. And, you know, when it comes to conversations that we've had, I've never just come right out and been like, you're wrong. You know, I've always considered that she has a point of view. You know, Tanya and I are 6 years apart, but we grew up in very different, you know, backgrounds. She grew up in a very conservative small town. I grew up in a very liberal home. And she grew up in a very, very religious family. I did not. And I've talked about this on here before, but Tanya grew up Pentecostal. So, and, you know, she's educated me a lot on the religion, and she's not Pentecostal today. But she still has, you know, very strong faith. And I think in respecting your friend, what you learn is your friend can have a different point. I don't even almost sometimes love the word opinion. Sometimes I think it's like anybody can have an opinion and they don't even have to back it up with anything, you know? Like, sometimes I don't love that word. I'm like, I don't know. But you and your friends can have different points of view and not agree on things and have a safe discussion. And I think sometimes what happens is we take so personally. Like, Tanya and I have never, like, there are things that, like, if Tanya was my friend, and she said, I don't agree with marriage equality, I don't think that gay people should have a right to be married, like, that would be something to me that, like, as her close friend that sees my relationship, I think I would struggle with. But, like, we've never, like, really gone there with issues. Does that make sense? Like, we don't hold so close to it. You know, she might have some opinions about certain things, and I might have some opinions about certain things, or points of view, but just because we have different points of view about different things, I think we've gotten so personal about our opinions, you know, in 2018, 2017, I think we've gotten so personal. It's like the whole Facebook thing. Like, if you don't agree with me, you know, like, I'm going to disown you. I'm going to defriend you. I don't want to ever see you or talk to you again. And, like, I don't understand what's happened about that. You know, like, when I was growing up, I loved to have deep intellectual conversations about spirituality and politics and religion and world events. I loved that. I craved that shit, you know, when I was drinking and not drinking. So, and I didn't love it because we always agreed. I loved it because we often didn't agree. But, you know, not just Tanya and I, but any of my friends. And, you know, we could sit around till 4 o'clock in the morning with candles lit, you know, smoking cigarettes and having these deep conversations about stuff and really learning where the other person came from. You know, explain to me why you feel that way, you know? Not just saying you're wrong, but saying, explain to me why you feel that way. People change perspectives in this world, you know? People change all the time, you know? People change the way they look at things, the way they feel about things. I've changed a lot of my perspectives in the last 20 years of my life. I can tell you that a lot of things that I felt when I was 20, I do not feel today in my life. Or I don't feel as strongly about. Or some issues I feel stronger about, you know? Like, let me give you an example. When I was 20, was just when they started talking about puppy mills and dog rescues, okay? I didn't really know much about that. I don't even know that I knew much about it till 5 or 6 years ago, you know, when my cousin was in charge of a greyhound rescue, and until Melissa got very involved in a dog rescue. I'm educated today. I know a lot about it. I've witnessed it firsthand. I've seen different points of view, and I feel completely different about it. You know, like, I'm very supportive. I'm so supportive of dog rescues and animal rights today, you know, in a way that I didn't even really understand that I should be in the past. And so I feel completely different about that today, you know. That's like just one example of things, but there's a lot of things that, like, my opinion has changed about over years. I'm happy that I didn't let friendships disintegrate over our differing opinions, you know? And you know, for me, honestly, when people say that on Facebook, like, I don't get on Facebook very much often, to be honest with you. Like, I just don't. To me, these days, it's just everybody putting up videos and memes. But, you know, whenever some big, huge controversy goes on in the world, everybody takes to Facebook and says, this is disgusting and blah, 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 whatever. And, you know, if you don't agree with me, then I don't even want to see you on my face. Don't comment on my wall, and I don't want to see you on my friend list anymore. And I think, is this how we talk to people in our lives? Like, where have we gotten to a point where this is how we talk to people through the guise of social media? Or are we, is it so easy for us to hide behind it, you know? I was talking to this guy at the casino like 6 months ago. He and I were sitting there talking, playing machines, and something about the Facebook, and he said, oh, I love to get on there and just really get people riled up, and I just like to post, you know, really just like hateful political shit and just get people pissed off at me. I go, what do you enjoy about that? And he goes, oh, I just think it's hilarious. They just get all up in arms, and then I get like, you know, 500 comments on it, and people go back and forth, people unfriend me because I think it's hilarious. I go, yeah, I don't know, what do you think is hilarious about that? Like, what's enjoyable to you? I don't understand that, you know? Oh, I think it's so hilarious. Okay. I don't get that. And when people say that stuff on Facebook, when they're like, just defriend me, you know, like, if you don't agree with me, like, that makes me even want to just defriend you more, that you cut off ties with people like that. Like, I don't get it. I don't know. I think the world needs to go back to a simpler place and time, you know? I think we need to keep our politics and religion to ourselves. I think it's one thing to talk about, you know, like, whenever I talk about God on my thing, I always try to preface it by saying, you know, like, you don't have to agree with me, you know, have your beliefs, because I know that people don't. That's fine. I respect that, you know? Hell, my husband's an atheist, let's be for real. But I wouldn't fight somebody over it. If somebody said to me, well, there's no God, I'd say, okay, that's your belief, and I believe something different, and I respect you for your belief, you know, and explain to me why you feel that way, you know, convince me, or, you know, let's have a conversation about it. No, I don't want to have a conversation with you, you're wrong, you believe there's a God, you're stupid, you know. Well, that's my experience, okay? Are you telling me that my experience is a lie? Or are you telling me that my experience is wrong? Because that's what people are saying, right? That when you take somebody's point of view, or you take their perspective, what they're saying is, your experience is wrong. Well, no, my experience is not wrong. It's my experience. It's Peter Monn's experience. Don't tell me what my experience is. You don't know. You haven't lived my experience. I have no problem sitting here and listening to your point of view, whether it be something religious or political, but let's have a conversation about it, and let's treat each other with respect. We have lost so much respect for people. It breaks my heart. I don't understand it. I really, really don't understand it, you know? Some of the things I see, you know, on Facebook and social media is just like so balls to the wall. I'm like, would you really speak this way? Like, if you were sitting at your dinner table for Christmas dinner with your mother sitting there, would you really say this? And I think what's happened is, to our youth to some degree, is I think it has crept into their daily talk. I think they do talk that way, you know? And I was on You Now, and I was like flipping through some of the channels, and I was like watching this guy, and he was like doing like makeup or something, and then all of a sudden And I was like, oh, this guy's kind of funny, you know? And then all of a sudden, he just started ripping out all of these offensive words. And I was like, what is this? Like, who speaks this way? Who thinks this is okay to speak this way? Like, you know, for what? Like, do you not care about how you're perceived at all? Like, I care. And I'm telling you, there have been moments in my life where I am not proud of how I spoke to somebody or how I spoke in general. I can tell you them myself. I know them, you know? But I don't have to perpetuate that today. I don't know. I just don't understand it. I think, like, social media has gotten this point where I think I'm just going to have to let this camera just kind of, like, not move. Like, if it slides, it slides. But, you know, we've got all these 60-year-olds up on Facebook saying all this kind of stuff. And then we've got, you know, like, 20-year-olds that are, like, saying all this offensive stuff on Twitter. And do I think that it feeds out into how they speak to their friends in real life? Or that's how they speak to their friends in real life anyway? A lot of them, I'm generalizing right now. Yes, I do. And then I think that's how they do speak to their family. And I think we're changing as a generation, you know? Like, I don't think we talk to people the same way. I don't understand it. I don't understand why we can't be considerate of one another. Why is it so hard to be respectful and to be considerate to people? Like, I don't know. Makes me sad. Am I the only one that feels that way? I mean, I know Tanya feels that way because we talk about it, you know? So proud of her son. He's such a neat young man, you know? And he and his girlfriend live in Florida. They go to college down there. And they've already been in the armed services. They were in the Marines for 4 years. And they, you know, were stationed in Japan, and now they're here, and they're going to school in Florida. And Nick and his girlfriend went and picked up his niece, his stepsister's daughter, who lives like an hour north, because she's starting high school tomorrow in her freshman year. She got a full scholarship to some private school academically, and she's going to be a cheerleader. And so Nick and his girlfriend took her out this weekend and got her she got a whole new haircut, and she got like this, you know, they took her to Sephora, and then she got some tutorial on how to learn how to do makeup, and they bought her really nice makeup and got her some new outfits and a backpack and all this kind of stuff, you know. And I sit there and I think about him, you know, and Nick had his moments growing up, you know, like, he was not a perfect child. He had his moments. He had his moments of even lipping off to his mother. I think Eric, his dad, tolerated it for, I don't know, about 0.03 seconds. But, you know, I think, like, you know, and then I think of my brother-in-law, Fufu, you know, like, he and Nick are the same age, and he's never disrespectful to his mother. I have never in 10 years, never, ever heard him say one disrespectful thing to his mom, ever. I haven't heard any of the three of them ever disrespect their mother, ever, or their grandmother, or their aunt, period. And I don't know if that's a cultural thing. I don't know if it's the family. I don't know what. But never once have they ever. I disrespected the shit out of my mom, okay, and wasn't proud of it at the, you know, when those things happen, and thankful that the last 13 years of her life wasn't like that, or almost 13 years. And so I do know that there's a lot of kids out there, a lot of young adults that do behave well and are respectful. Do I think they're respectful probably 24 hours of the day? No, you know, I'm sure they lip off. And I think, like, with Alex's mom's situation, I think what's interesting is, like, I think if any of them had mouthed off to her, she wouldn't have slapped them. I don't think she would have done anything like that. I think she would have looked at them and said, "You disappoint me." Like, I think it would have been like that, you know? There's so much respect there. So much respect. And as a result, of them respecting their mother, they never argue. They never argue. That family never argues. They dance, they get together, they drink wine, they stay up too late, they laugh, they tell stories. They don't fight, ever. They're so respectful of each other. They're so respectful of each other, you know? When someone comes to visit from out of town, everybody wants to be over there because they're so excited to see them, you know? And nobody fights. There's no disrespect. I just don't think that the world has to be that way, you know? It makes me sad, and yet I don't live in that because I don't really witness a lot of it, you know? I'm not that way with my dad and my stepmom. I'm highly respectful of them, you know? And they are in return, but, like, that's not the relationship we have. I mean, my dad is my dad. He's not my friend, you know? And we've never been friends. Like, my dad is a father figure to me. Like, he is a role model, a mentor to me. And, I would say my stepmom and I are more, you know, friendly. I've shared that on here before where she said I'm not your friend, I'm not your mother, I'm something in between. We have a special relationship and we do, you know. Has my father given me advice and things like a friend would? Absolutely, but from a father's point of view, you know, and then Alex's family, I'm not disrespectful to them. So, and my friends and I, we aren't disrespectful to each other because I can tell you at the point that I'm at today, I'm not going to take somebody's disrespect. Number one, that's a friend in my life. Number two, I don't think that I want to have friends that would take disrespect from me. So if I had a friend in my life that allowed me to be disrespectful to them, I'm not really sure that's somebody I would want in my life today, you know? And I think I've set the bar a little higher for myself and what I'm willing to accept and what I want my life to look like because I want quality people in my life today. I don't need quantity of people, you know? And it's sad, and I think that if we all started speaking to each other with a little bit more respect and a little bit more dignity and concern, compassion and kindness, I think the world would work a lot easier. I don't think we'd be so frustrated all the time. I don't think that, you know, people would be so angry and resentful. If people stayed, you know, thinking about how they want to be talked to. It's the golden rule. I don't know. Like a Peter Monn vlog, this has gone in many directions. So I made a executive decision tonight that I'm not moving the camera probably anymore. So if it just slides over that way, it's just going to slide over that way. I'm afraid to even touch it. Every time I touch it, it moves. So yeah. I want to listen to Harry Potter. I want to find out what happens. Have you guys read them? Do you like the little Dobby character? He's so funny when he's hitting his head. That's like, I just finished that part. I'm not very far into Chamber of Secrets yet, but I'm at the part where, like, the Dursleys are, like, downstairs and they're having the business dinner, and Dobby's, like, hitting his head against the wall. He's like, bad Dobby, bad Dobby. It's cracking me up. Oh, God. So, anyway, it's Monday, you guys. 2 days until I leave. I have to clean the house. Oh my God. I have so many things that I have to do. The dogs are going to the kennel, but one of Carlos's friends is coming to stay at our house while we're gone. And he lives with a bunch of people, and I think he wants to have like a week away, and he can use the pool and stuff, so it'll be nice for him. But anyway, he's a real nice guy. And so I'm trying to make the house be kind of nice for him, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, get some bottles of water in the fridge, that kind of thing. You know what you do. Anyway, act like I'm in an Airbnb without being an actual Airbnb. I could never, like, be one of those. I'd be so weird if somebody was coming, like, it's one thing to have, like, somebody that I know come and stay in my house, you know, but it's, like, another thing to, like, have somebody that, like, a total stranger come and stay in your house. I don't know, do any of you guys rent your places out, Airbnb? Is it weird at all? I think that would be weird. Like, in Indianapolis, when other stuff is going on downtown, like, people that live downtown, like, rent out their apartments and stuff. And I was actually talking to the guy at Starbucks the other day about this, and I was like, he said, oh, I've been sleeping on my mother-in-law's couch for like a week. And I was like, why? And he's like, well, Comic-Con was in town and we rented out our apartment. And I was like, He was like, but we made a lot of money, so it was good. When the Super Bowl was here, apartments downtown, people were literally paying $5,000 and $10,000 a night. A night. Okay? For a one-bedroom apartment downtown. A night. Can you even believe it? Crazy, isn't it? I still don't think I'd want anybody to live in my house, but I'd probably take $5,000 a night if you wanted to, so. Auctioning off now. Peter Monn's house for night. $5,000. Anyway. Alright, you guys. I love you, and I hope you're having a great beginning of your week, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.